real good.
Yeah, we're ready. All right, Super Bowl Sunday. It's one of the best and worst days of the year. Are you guys half cup or half full? We'll get to that in a second. It's Sunday Fantasy NFL Today show. We're going to break down props, Super Bowl preview, fantasy. I mean, we're going to go in any direction we want. Anthony, Nathan, what up, guys? So first off, half full, half empty. Is this a good day or a sad day?
This is my favorite day of the year, every year. It doesn't matter who's playing in it. The Super Bowl is my favorite day of the year.
Yeah, definitely excited. Half full for sure. Looking forward to a great matchup. Seems like we got the best on best this year. Hopefully we get some good game.
Yeah, for me it's sad. For me, the worst day of the year. I guess I'm a pessimist. Like June 21st, the summer solstice. When the sun's in the air the longest, that's the worst day because every day after that's a little shorter. So I'm definitely like, oh, Super Bowl's over. Then we got but I guess it means summer's coming. I don't know. But great game. We got a rematch, Super Bowl kind of rematch. Eagles is stacked up. Chiefs is stacked up. Nate, I was just reading your preview. What do you think? Anything from digging deep? I saw you using Warren Sharp now, right?
A little bit, yeah.
He's great.
Expand a little more. I like him a lot. Yeah, I think it's great, dude. Like this Eagles team is so talented, top to bottom, and the Chiefs just know how to win. So I really think you're getting the best team in the league and the best winners in the league going against each other. But I think the Eagles might have it this year.
Just Saquon? He's just half man, half God?
Well, it's tough because the Chiefs have gone against the number one run defense in each of their last two Super Bowls, and Steve Spagnuolo has come out and shut them down in 2 straight seasons.
Sorry, number one run offense?
I believe so, with the Niners in 2023 and then the Eagles in 2022.
Yeah, okay. I think you said defense. I'm not sure. Okay, cool.
Okay. But yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if Barkley's talent is just too much. But I think that it'll be their year.
Okay, cool. So just quick one more. So my favorite thing is, like Belichick famously would make you play left-handed, right? So it's like, it's a counter on a counter on a counter, and whoever is the last counter wins. What's the key? Like what's the key number? Like if Saquon gets 25 rushes, Eagles win. If Mahomes gets to 250 passing yards, like what's the key number for you?
The key number for me, I think, will be Jalen Hurts and avoiding sacks. If he can be decisive and get the ball out of his hands quick or take off the run, if he can keep positive plays going and keep the drives alive, I think that will be the difference.
Okay. Anthony, what about you? Giants, are you cheering for the Chiefs? Because Giants fans all about spite.
Yeah, let's go Chiefs. That's who I'm rooting for today. I don't know if that's who I'm picking today, but definitely rooting for the Chiefs. Giants legend Steve Spagnuolo, looking for a three-peat. It's going to be a good game. I do think we have probably 2 of the best teams in the league at this point playing in it. So it should be a good game. Hopefully the Chiefs win, but I don't know. Saquon Barkley could just break it open. I like him as a good shot to win MVP. If the Eagles win, I think Saquon Barkley is going to be the MVP.
Okay, I like that. What's the key number for you? I'm getting a little kickback in your audio.
Yeah.
I think I saw the Chiefs, like they're the best explosive run defense in the league, where they don't give up big runs, and Saquon's kind of made his living. Like the 60-yard run's just in the bag, right? It's like the Steph Curry 40-footer. It's happening. What's the number? Like if Saquon gets 100 rush yards, what for you is going to tell the tale after the tape is done?
I don't know if it's a set
you're
number.
Muted now.
No, I think. Can y'all hear me?
Still muted.
I heard him.
How about now?
You're good.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if it's a set number of yards or a set number of carries, but I think it's going to come down to, like you said, the explosive plays. I think Saquon Barkley's touchdowns, I saw a stat. All his touchdowns, he's averaged over 30 yards per touchdown this season. So I think if he gets 1 or 2 of those, I think that might help break it the Eagles' way, especially if one of them comes in the fourth quarter. I think it's going to come down to the amount of explosive plays they can have on the offensive side of the ball for Philly.
Okay, so what do you think? Do you think Spag? Because like I just love the defensive, the chess game, right? Remember the Cincy KC AFC playoff game, and Lou Amarillo, he was just like rushing two and dropping everyone, and KC still passed into it, and that's how they kind of lost the game. So you think stack box to show different looks? Can you put a spy on Barkley?
Ooh, a spy on a running back, that would be interesting. Man, I really don't know what you do. I think first and foremost, I think you have to stop the run because, man, as good as that and as talented as that Eagles offense is, Saquon Barkley is the best player on that team. So I think you have to shut him down first and foremost and kind of make Jalen Hurts beat you through the air, which he's certainly capable of. It's not a shot at his passing abilities, but if I'm Spags, I'm trying to shut down Saquon Barkley and just let the rest fall where it happens in the passing game.
Living with AJ one-on-one. I mean, that's the Eagles. That's why they're the Super Bowl.
Right? Yeah, but then if you double AJ, you're leaving a light box for arguably the best offensive line in football and a guy that had over 2,000 rushing yards. It's pick your poison. But I think when push comes to shove, again, I'm going to stop Saquon Barkley if I'm the Chiefs.
Okay. Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I follow that. I think Spagnuolo will do his best to stop Barkley first, and it'll rely on Jalen Hurts having to make the most of the opportunities presented to him. And if the Chiefs can, if the Eagles can manage to stop the Chiefs from getting pressure without blitzing, then that'll be huge because Jalen Hurts is 37th in among 37 qualifying QBs in EPA per play when pressured. And
when pressured, I think I was reading a preview, not zone blitz, just straight pressure.
Just straight pressured, yeah. But he has a 120 QBR against the blitz. So if they can manage to get pressure without sending a guy that they're so good at, because I think they also get the second most pressure looks from linebackers and DBs in KC as well. So they kind of have to just beat them up front if they really want to get to Hurts.
So you're saying it's the old school Giants? It's rush 4, get pressure, win the game?
I think so.
Okay.
And they can do it. I think they can with Chris Jones. So it'll be tough. It's the best on best. So I just assume both sides are going to win each battle. It is tough.
That's why I don't even care. Like people making predictions, right? They're like, Chiefs are going to win. It's like, okay, they've won 2 in a row. Like, congrats. Like they're going to put that in your tombstone. Anthony, what do they do with the RPO? Because we saw with the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, right? Pittsburgh would always just key on Lamar and let Henry take it, and then that didn't work. Henry ran for like 180. And in the playoffs, they switched it up, and then Lamar just picked them apart, right? So you got that Saquon Jalen Hurts RPO, it's death by gun or stabbing, right?
Right. So if it's an option, it's going to be really important for the Chiefs to stay disciplined. Have whoever is assigned to Jalen Hurts stay on Jalen Hurts, and whoever is assigned to Saquon Barkley stay on Saquon Barkley, and just trust that the other man is going to do their job. That's how you're supposed to play the option, at least when it comes to the running back and the quarterback. So you just have to be disciplined. You just have to trust that the rest of the defense is going to do what it's supposed to do. But man, I would hate to be put in that position to try to stop that run pass option, especially because then you can just quick sling it out to AJ Brown or Devonta Smith on a quick pass if you have the right look. It's so dangerous. But ultimately, remaining disciplined is going to be the most important thing.
Okay, and then really we haven't even really talked about the Chiefs offense, right? Really, I think Chiefs, Eagles. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. It's stopping Mahomes is the real key, right? Nathan, we got those Philly, we got those rookie corners who are great. Oh, Anthony, I'm getting some feedback. I was reading your preview. I saw Mahomes only had 25 and 26 passes the last 2 games. Like that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
What do you put the number at today? Like, if he is it a good or bad thing if he has 40 passes today?
I think it's a good thing. I think he's going to try and operate kind of in the short and intermediate field, kind of run through the air with guys like Xavier Worthy, even Marquise Brown in these shallow routes, Kelsey, Noah Gray. I expect like a lot of quick completions. Xavier Worthy has 11 of the Chiefs' last 19 screenplays going to him, and no other Chief has more than 2 in that span. Um, his ADOT has dropped a bit since Hollywood Brown has become more established. I think it's 2.4 is his ADOT over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, but what's his yak?
Yeah, and that yeah, it's a testament to just how dynamic he is, and they want to get him the ball as much as he can. That's why one of my picks was 1.5 rush attempts on Worthy, because I'm expecting them to try and get him the ball, manufactured touches, because he's just their best playmaker right now.
Yeah, but you know what that's going to come down to? It's going to come down one of those laterals where it's pass, run, you don't know, and it's whatever they rule it.
Yeah. I like the odds. I expect him to get the ball into his hands, and I think he's had those opportunities recently as well.
But we've seen, all right, if you jump in here, the KC will just play matchups, right? When they played Houston, they didn't even challenge their corners, right? I think like they had just a handful of targets. So you've got the Eagles with these elite corners. You think they'll go check down, gadget plays, and just Kelsey gets 15 targets, which is kind of the Super Bowl MO anyways?
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid is so talented as a play caller that he's going to find the mismatch.
Where is it in Philly, though?
That's the tough part. Is Philly's probably the deepest roster in football, offense, defense, all around. I think it's going to be important for them to spread the ball around. I mean, it felt like during the regular season, they kind of got a rolling at first, but then Rashee Rice was out for the year and they didn't have any receivers and they were shorthanded and blah, blah, blah. But now you look at them and, of course, Rashee Rice is still out, but Worthy stepped up. They have DeAndre Hopkins, who, although he's been kind of quiet, is a veteran. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a big game in a big spot, a guy you can trust. Again, a guy that he's never played in the Super Bowl, but played in some pretty big games, played in some playoff games in Arizona as well as in Houston, I believe. I mean,
he lost to Mahomes when they went up 27-0.
Right. So like I mean they've got a good group of pass catchers now that they didn't have in the preseason, and then Hollywood's healthy as well. Who, although again was hurt all year, we can't forget how good he actually is. So I mean I think it's going to be important for them to spread the ball around, remain unpredictable, because Philly's got the talent everywhere to match up. So that's why it's important to change your looks. I think getting Worthy in motion, a lot of the Chiefs run a lot of motion. Continuing to do that to get him going before the snap. And Travis Kelce, again, I think he's going to be the guy that when you need a play, like he knows how to find space. Him and Mahomes have that huge connection. So ultimately, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this game, and both of these offenses go to work on two really great defenses as well.
Yeah. So Nathan, where are the edges, right? I'd say like Philly defense, rush defense, big edge, KC rushing. They've been able to rush the ball great, right? I'd say that's one, but where else?
I'd say Philly's secondary versus the Chiefs receivers.
Big edge Philly?
Yeah. I think so. I worry about the Chiefs getting the ball downfield, and
Anthony, audio?
I'm expecting like long 15-play drives from each side. That's how both of these offenses have operated all season long. And it's just a matter of the Eagles are the number one ranked passing defense within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. So
Jesus,
it's the best on best, and the Chiefs are going to need someone downfield but Worthy has a 14% target share against zone coverage in these last 6 weeks or in the postseason, and the Eagles are exclusive. That's their specialty with Vic Fangio, and they're sorry. Let me posture
All
myself.
right, just take your time, man. It's clear you did the preview. You got all the
yeah.
stats. This is great.
Just I just worry about the Chiefs' ability to get a big play when it counts, and I think that'll have to come in the form of Kelsey. I also noted in the play that I like Kelsey's receptions as an alternative play, for the same logic that he'll be the most trusted guy and the one to find space, like Anthony was saying. Yeah,
So what
and
about some? Oh, go ahead.
no, please.
What about some MVP dark horses? So let's say Mahomes and Hurts are off. Let's say Mahomes and Barkley are off the table. Who are we betting on? Anyone like Kelsey MVP? But that's probably a little too popular.
I really like Devontae Smith in this game too.
Oh, he had a big game last Super Bowl.
Big game last Super Bowl. He has at least 99 yards in all 3 games against the Chiefs in his career. He has a great matchup. He's been operating out of the slot 52% of the time in the postseason, and he gets Chamari Connor out of the slot, who is giving up the most yards per route run on the Chiefs defense among their secondary. And he's
Okay.
more of like a hard-nosed, like kind of bulkier tackling guy. And Smith should be able to just eat him up if they're playing one-on-one and leaving stacking the box against Barkley. I like him getting open a lot.
So I said, you said, good thing if Mahomes is, what did I say, 40 passes? What about Hurts? If Hurts is 35, is that good or bad thing?
Probably bad. They don't want to have the game go through Hurts, right? But it may come down to that they have to. If the ground game is completely stymied by whatever Spagnuolo throws at them, but I don't think it'll get to that point. But if they do have to throw that much, I think they're in dangerous conditions there.
Okay, Anthony, what about you? MVP dark horses?
How deep are we going?
Oh, whatever you want. You want to go
Deep we
defensive
want.
player?
Dallas Goedert.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Dallas Goedert. You think about all the pieces that the Eagles have. Obviously you're going to focus on Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown. Like those are the 2 guys. Dallas Goedert kind of just gets lost in the shuffle sometimes, and you see these times where he'll go for stretches and not do a whole lot, and then he has 7 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They love drawing up screens for him too in big moments. So look for him to low key play a key part. He might be one of the X factors when all is said and done. If the Chiefs and Spags find a way to shut down the running game as well as keeping AJ Brown or Devonta Smith contained, Dallas Goedert is going to play a huge part in this game for the Eagles.
Okay, I like that. So what's his stat line? What would he need to do to win MVP? 7 grabs, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns?
He's going to need at least 2 touchdowns to win
Maybe
MVP.
throw one?
That would be enticing. I think he'll need, like I said, 2 touchdowns. One of them would probably have to be the game winner just to kind of get that Super Bowl moment as well. I think he'll need 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay. What about anyone? So what about trick plays? Who can anyone throw in KC or Philly? Have we seen? I mean, having a non-Mahomes player throw the ball seems stupid, but we've seen the Kelsey lateral. He loves doing that. Philly, maybe Jahan Dotson. Can he throw?
That I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if AJ Brown could get it down the field.
Okay. Who we saw? Who threw the terrible one? Jameson Williams, right?
Yeah, that was Jameson Williams.
So you don't want to. Okay. What about injuries? What injury to a skill player would shift the tide? Like if Trent McDuffie got hurt, or who's the big beast defensive line?
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, yeah.
Or Jalen Carter. For me, it's probably Jordan Mailata.
Okay.
If we're being honest, again, it feels like the running game and the offensive line is the strength of that Eagles offense, and Mailata is an animal. So I mean, if he goes down, I think the Eagles could be in a lot of trouble. So that for me, that's the injury that outside of Saquon Barkley, the quarterbacks.
Yeah, Saquon goes down.
Yeah, outside of the superstars, if Mailata goes down, I think that could be the biggest impact.
I like that. And then also give me what numbers what number does KC want? Like they're like, if we get this, we're gonna in a good spot on like offense or defense, right? Like I'm sure if they hold Saquon under 100 rushing yards, they're stoked.
I think Kansas City. I think their best shot is probably to try to shorten the game. I think if they get in a shootout with Philly, I don't know if they could beat Philly in a shootout. So yeah, I think the game plan should be for Kansas City, shorten the game, run the ball. You've got two good running backs in Pacheco and Kareem Hunt's been performing.
They kind of run the ball by throwing, though, right?
Yeah, they also do those quick passes, and you can manufacture touches like Nathan was saying to Xavier Worthy, and the shovel passes to Travis Kelce and all that. Yeah, so I think that they're going to want to sustain long drives at the end of the day. I think that'll give them the best shot.
Okay, so but numbers though? What do you think? Like possessions, turnover? Obviously, everybody wants to win the turnover battle,
right?
But...
I think if Kansas City can hold the Eagles under 21 points, I think they'll be in pretty good shape. For me, if you want to put a number on it, I think that.
I like that. Yeah.
I think that's a number that Kansas City would feel pretty good about.
Okay, that's a good preview. So let's jump into some fantasy. Nathan? Well, this is probably obvious, but who's going first overall at fantasy from these teams? Let's say the fantasy league was only these teams. How's the draft go?
Probably Saquon off rip, pretty handily, and then probably go Saquon. If you're doing just all flex plays, are we considering
like you need a quarterback? Yeah.
We're just like it's a league, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably go Barkley, Mahomes.
Mahomes is terrible. He was QB 13 though.
Are we talking about this game specifically, or from the year? From the season?
I was saying for next year. For next year.
Sorry. For next year. My mistake. Yeah.
Okay. I should qualify that.
Okay, so Barkley, Jalen Hurts.
Not AJ Brown.
AJ Brown would be my 102.
Yeah, AJ Brown considering.
Does Worthy crack 3 with the pure hype train?
Dude, they're getting Rashee Rice back too.
Oh right, yeah, they are.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown is leaving though, but
if you want my top 5, it would be Saquon, AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, Devonta Smith, and probably Jalen Hurts because just the rushing touchdowns are just crazy. And I might even put Jalen Hurts above Devonta Smith. Those two are interchangeable. But that's kind of my top 5 out of these teams.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's just stacked, right? Is Barkley is he first overall consensus next year, or is it everyone? It's like the fear of the 391 carries. I think Jamar Chase is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna just depend if you want to start running back or wide receiver. But the two guys that their ADP should be like 1.1 or whatever. I think it's going to be Saquon and Jamar Chase. It's just going to depend on how you want to start your team, running back or wide receiver.
That's how it currently is in Underdog pre-draft best ball right now. It's Chase and Saquon back to back.
Right.
When does best ball start? I know Anthony, you're a big best ball guy. We should really have you doing your own best ball stuff. Did you do well this year?
Yeah, I did pretty well. So, oh man, I drafted a couple hundred teams. I had 3 go to week 17, which is the final for all the tournaments. I had 1 team come in second place, won 4 figures, and then my other 2 teams, yeah, it was it was a good year. And then my other 2 teams, they placed pretty well, but nothing too crazy. So that was my big highlight on Underdog, the Superflex Golden, second place.
So now, I mean, you have a little taste of that success. Now just pure addiction kicks in, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, best ball is slowly becoming my favorite format. Although I do love the in-season management, best ball is a lot of fun.
When is your first best ball? When do you think? Like, what's
so on Underdog?
When did they open?
Underdog they start January. It was in January. I normally wait until after the NFL draft to start. I usually start around like May.
Yeah, sure, May.
Yeah, I feel like you could definitely get a lot of value on the rookies when you don't know what team they're going to. But I'm just the type of person that, like, when I'm drafting, I would rather know the situation than look stupid later. I don't know. That's just me though.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Nathan, what are you? Nathan, do you do much best ball?
A little bit. This is my first season really doing it, and I had a couple. I had 2 championship seats in the same contest, but they didn't. I think they both finished top 200 in the finale, but it wasn't bad. I pretty much pushed on the year, and then I turned around and I maxed out one of the weekly slates in the AFC, or no, I'm sorry, in the wild card round, and I got 13th and 25th in that, and that set me up for next season. So I'm rolling into next year. I started one slow draft just to see how values are shaping out, and I'm like Anthony. I don't touch rookies that I don't know where they're landing, just because, unless they're like a guaranteed top talent, just because it could easily just be a zero based on where they end up.
Okay, so Anthony, just explain best ball to me and give me the elevator 30 seconds for people who don't understand it, which is sometimes me.
Right. So there's, at least on Underdog, there's 18 rounds. You've got the starting lineups pretty much the same. It's a quarterback, 2 running backs. Underdog has 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex. There's no kicker, no defense. You snake draft 12 teams, go through the draft, and then that's it. You're done. There's no trades, there's no ad drops, there's no waivers, no fabs, no roster management, no setting your lineups. Then once the season rolls around, it sets your best lineup every week. And the regular season is 14 weeks long. So whoever scores the most amount of points in your draft room through the 14 weeks, it's either top 1 or top 2, depending on the tournament. They move on to what's called the playoffs. And round 1 of the playoffs is week 15, and it's kind of the same setup. You just kind of get thrown into random pods of 12, 15, 20, whatever the tournament specifies. And then like the top 1 or 2 will move to week 16, which is the second round, same thing. And then week 17 is always just like a kind of winner take all. There's anywhere between 20 to 100, 200 teams, depending on the tournament. And then the top team in week 17 wins the big prize. And obviously the cash prizes, they escalate down. First is the most, second, third, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, and then what's like size of leagues? Like, what do you pay $2 to get in? It's like 1,000 people, or give me some frameworks.
So it depends. They have Underdog, at least, because I only draft an Underdog. I know a couple different platforms too.
We'll get them to sponsor us
basketball as well. But yeah, so they have one. Their like flagship tournament is $25. There's like almost 700,000 people in it, and the winner gets $1.5 million though. So like, you can do those types of tournaments. They range anywhere from like $3 to anywhere up to like $1,000. The smaller cash tournaments can have 50,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 people in it. It's hard. It's definitely hard to advance and whatnot, but it's a lot of fun if you've kind of got some extra cash to throw around.
Or just go see a movie or make a best ball team.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a half hour. Let's go a little longer. Nathan, anything to preview that maybe didn't make it to the pod?
Just some support for Dallas Goedert as Super Bowl MVP. I liked him a lot as well.
What are the odds? 50 to 1, 35?
I'm not
plus 3,500.
To be honest with you.
Okay, it's okay. Don't
worry. Insane.
Imagine the Chiefs just could not stop the tight end at all, and it was consistent through the regular season and the playoffs. They allowed like almost 70 plus receiving yards per game to the opposing tight ends, which was like over about 14 more per game than the next closest team.
Jesus.
They're
that just like Brock Bowers twice.
that might be the case. The Chiefs are also bottom 5 against defending throws within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, which is right where Goddard is catching crossing routes and running them up the seam for 20, 30-yard gains at least once a game. And without I personally took his first half yardage in a parlay just because I'm worried about some halftime adjustments maybe. But
So
I like
what his yards probably what 38 and a half?
on the game it's 51.5. And then
Woo!
I think he's only hit 47. I think is the bar he's hit in 5 straight. But with the Chiefs being such a bad matchup, I think that's a little bit of weight, into that line.
Okay. So what do you like the under though? And like the under? Super Bowls. I mean, has anyone ever made money in the Super Bowl? I lose every year.
I went to Vegas one time for the Super Bowl when it was the Ravens 49ers. And
the power outage.
Yeah. I won like $600.
Okay.
So that was fun. But no, I don't have all that much luck on the Super Bowl. What was I going to say? What's his name? Goddard, by the way, is plus 12,000 to win Super Bowl MVP.
120 to 1.
Plus 12,000. So yeah, if that's 120 to 1, I guess.
I think so. Sometimes I get confused.
I don't know how that works out.
But. Okay, 120 is worth. I mean, I put two. It's worth $2. But it just seems Super Bowl. It's like all these stars make it, but then it's just you got 2 weeks to plan. So it's like it's always the defensive plan is like don't let the star beat you, right? Like AJ Brown's gonna get help over the top on deep routes, right? Worthy's not gonna be open running down the sidelines. Barkley's gonna have stacked boxes. It's always like the other guy or the other guy that comes off. So that's why I think Goddard's a great play. With KC's tough because they got so many other guys. What are some good other guys, right? Because I remember that Philly Super Bowl. Philly Pats one. It was like 400 yards passing. I had Edelman, and Edelman had like 4 catches for like 40 yards, and it was everybody else going off.
Yeah, I think Juju could easily find his way
Wow.
there. He had 2 for 60 last week. I want to say a couple 30-yard catch and runs. He's getting a lot of snaps. He's getting out there and blocking, which is earning him more reps. DeAndre Hopkins is down to just 31% of snaps last week. They'll probably just bring him in for some packages where he's getting design looks or maybe a red zone package for him. And Juju's just out there. So if you're looking for a guy who's a third read, or if you're relying on Mahomes to find the crease, it could easily be his third, fourth read, which could wind up being Juju out there.
Okay. And Anthony, what was that? Oh my God, my brain shut off.
You did ask about the over-under before. It's 48.5, and I think I'd probably take the over.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles' offense is just so explosive. It's going to be so hard to stop them, and then Patrick Mahomes on the other side.
But he's not explosive anymore. He's a dink and dimer. He's like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I mean, this season he hasn't been throwing the ball down the field. Probably the past couple of seasons, it feels like. Yeah, they finally have a guy they can do it with, though, with Worthy, and I'm not even saying they're going to do it in the Super Bowl. But I mean, if the Chiefs have to put up 30 points, I know I said earlier that I don't think that they can outscore the Eagles in a shootout, but it doesn't mean that they can't. I mean, I'm never gonna be surprised if Patrick Mahomes does something. But yeah, I thought the over/under would be higher than 40.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that's probably why I'm in on it, which means that you should probably bet the under.
Well, I think it's just historically, it's just these games always start slow, right? Tom Brady, great, like the GOAT, he would never start hot. And every year they'd be like, the goal is to start hot. The goal is to start hot. And then end of the first quarter is 3-0 every time. So it's just like something about the Super Bowl, the hype, the 2 weeks, the break, the emotion. It's just slow starters. So I think if you're going to bet over, you go second half over. I think that'd be the bet. But I'm leaning. I haven't bet yet. I'm thinking I want to keep it simple. I'm thinking like just like Chiefs in the under. As a parlay is what I'm thinking. Just be boring. It's kind of like a nice house bet. Nathan, what do you think about that?
I do like the under here. I'm personally not touching it just because I'm more scared than anything that it could go either way. But to support the under, the Chiefs are first in plays per drive and had the 10th most plays per game, and the Eagles are fifth in plays per game and had the second highest no huddle rate. So,
Oh, sorry, say that again.
The Eagles have the second highest no huddle rate and the fifth highest plays per game.
So that goes to the over.
It does, but both teams like to hold the ball a lot. So while the Eagles are getting the ball out in no huddle, it's still 10, 15 play drives that grind the clock.
Okay.
And both these teams like to operate that way. So it could easily just be a slogfest where you only see, if it's a clean game, you could easily wind up where there's just 10 possessions between both teams.
And 8 touchdowns.
Very possible. They're efficient.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up here because we got the Super Bowl, right? Everyone's got things to do. Anthony's got sick wife, sick kids, and he's it could explode any minute. So any last words, last thoughts, and we're gonna head out. Anthony?
John, I want to give you your flowers. You're up for an award for one of your articles.
If only we knew which one.
If only we knew which one. But it's what is it? The Fantasy Sports Writers of America.
Yeah. It's one of the coolest things that ever happened to me. Andre made me apply, and I didn't even, I just did it and never thought about it again. So yeah, it's cool. It's an honor just to be nominated. I've always wanted to say that.
Yeah. So yeah, my last words are giving you your flowers. That's awesome. Congratulations.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna sign off on that. So go Birds. Oh, Brian's at the game, so we don't really like Brian.
He's at the game. He's in New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, he's
bought a
huge
ticket.
Eagles fans. He's in NOLA.
Did he buy a ticket?
Huh?
Did he buy a ticket, or he just went to New Orleans?
No, he bought a ticket. No. Yeah. Brian's.
Oh my god. Man,
if you
that's
makes
fantastic.
the bowl, you cash in some stocks.
I know. If the Giants ever make it again in my lifetime, and that's a big if.
Well, flying cars by then.
Yeah, I might have to lie, cheat, and steal to get my way there.
Eddie Guerrero, baby.
Right, but are we making picks to end the?
Sure.
End it here?
Let's do it. Let's do pick and score. I'm gonna go Chiefs 24-21.
Nathan, what do you got?
I'll go Eagles 28-24.
That's the over.
I said no. I said I had evidence and support. I wasn't personally taking it. I think they are going to score the football when they get down there. And if they don't, there's going to be turnovers, which will result in short fields, and it just gets messy.
Or red zone turnovers. Okay. Then you're walking contradiction. You're done. All right, Anthony, what do you got for me?
Eagles 31, Chiefs 26.
Wow. Okay. So you guys both overs, making me rethink everything. That's just what I need. But we got time. It's still like 3 days till kickoff. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Last game of the season. So I don't know what we're gonna do now. We're gonna figure something out. Go whoever.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of off-season content.